Okay, so for today's video, we're going to be scanning part of the side skirt. Specifically, what we're going to be scanning and trying to accomplish is these little tabs right here on the side skirt. So my buddy has this side skirt right here, and there's these tabs. He bought a new one, but those tabs aren't on there. So the plan is we're going to try to make those tabs and 3D print them. And then from there, hopefully, he'll be able to plastic weld them, or I don't know, maybe lay some fiberglass on top of it. Somehow join them together with the new side skirt. So we're going to scan it with the Freescan combo, and we're going to recreate the whole thing using QuickSurface. So this is more to show the workflow that I have when using QuickSurface. I'm still new to it, so obviously it still takes me some time making the parts, but I'm a little better at it, and I feel a little more comfortable making a video to show that workflow. So yeah, let's get started with the scanning. Okay, so since this video is mainly on the QuickSurface workflow, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward all this. If you want to see more on the Freescan combo and how I scan things with it, you can check out my other video where I scanned the engine cover. I'm going to be making more videos using the scanner, so you're not missing out much with this one. So initially you can see I didn't have any dots on the part. I thought I was going to be able to get away with it, but since I'm trying to get into those crevices on the side with the tabs right there, the scanner is going to eventually lose tracking once I turn it sideways. So I placed some dots down after scanning for a bit, and pretty much had no issue getting the rest of the part with that. So now I have some scanning dots on it, so I ended up just deleting the whole data that I had scanned and just started over the part. I didn't have much scanned anyway, so it's not like it really mattered. So you can see here that once you put some scanning dots on, it's way faster and way easier to get all the data you need. Okay, so since this video is mainly focused on QuickSurface, I'm just going to go ahead and skip the whole thing over to the final mesh that I got with the scan and what I did to it in order to bring it into QuickSurface. Okay, so here's the final mesh I ended up getting with the scanner. What I'm going to do is just cut out pretty much half of it. I don't need the other half since all these tabs are pretty much the same. So I'm just going to get the rough area that I need, and it's more than enough to bring into QuickSurface. So let's head over into QuickSurface. Okay, so here we are in QuickSurface. I'm just going to import the scan data we just took. Okay, so here's the part loaded in. And so what I did in Freescan software was created some features, that way it's aligned pretty much with the axis, and as I move around I can see it from the front, the back, you know, all the side profiles pretty evenly. Okay, so what we're going to start doing is we're going to try doing a 2D sketch to create the outer outline of the tab, and we're going to see what we can do from there. Alright, so here I'm going to do a 2D sketch. I'm able to choose from the axis where I want to place it. So this is the one I want. I'm going to just go ahead and drag where I think it best fits the outline of the tab right there. And so you can kind of just play with it. Keep in mind what features you want to capture and, you know, the overall shape you want to try to get. So I'm kind of just going around trying to see what fits best and what captured the most data that's useful. So we're trying to use the inner curve of the skirt, not the outer one, and we're trying to get right above the fillet right there. So right around there I think was good. So once you clicked OK, you go through and you pretty much get like an outline of what you just saw the plane cutting through. And so then from there, QuickSurface has some nice tools where you can go through and you can select a couple points and it'll generate a best fit line from those points. So right there, that's what I'm doing. Just going through and it's creating a best fit line through all the points that I select. And so once you do that, you can select those 2 points, the endpoints. You can connect those, and then it'll try to automatically fit the best curve for them. So it's really handy. Doesn't work all the time, obviously, but I mean, no tool is perfect. So here you just select the points, you connect them like that, and then it's gonna find the best fit curve based on that. Obviously you can do this by hand, going through with like similar to a pen tool, but I think it works pretty good for this purpose. Like right here, this is where the pen tool comes in handy. So because I'm trying to get the inner part of the side skirt, the inner side didn't really get highlighted, so I'm kind of gonna go through this by hand. So I'm just gonna select that point and kind of go through, and at least from this angle, this is like what I think is best fit for that curve on the inside. Here first I tried making a curve using the, I think it was a tangent tool. I probably should use the pen tool right away, but I wanted to give this a try and see if it would work out. So you just select two endpoints, and then at least from this angle it didn't look like it was going to work out too good. So I just went over to use the pen tool anyways. So yeah, like any other pen tool, you just select your points. You can go through and edit them later, but this fit pretty good. Once you go through and you have your sketch closed, you can go ahead and click on it, and you'll be able to extrude it based off the plane that you were working off of. So here I am extruding the sketch that I just made. You can also turn on this analysis tool, and you can have it snap to the scan, and with that graph right there you can actually see how close it is to the actual scan. So it's pretty handy to try to get something, trying to get a certain thickness of an item or based off the scan that you have. The overall shape here looks pretty good, looks pretty useful. The only thing is right here towards the curve of the part right there, I guess it's not too close. We can make it closer though. On the other side looked fine, but we're gonna go ahead and try to make that closer. So one of the things I really like about QuickSurface is if you have something like this where your shape is slightly off, you can go back to your sketch and you can edit that, and it's gonna update the extruded shape that you have. So right now I'm just going to flip sides to look at it from the other side. So you can see I was a bit off from this curve. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit these points. And so once I confirm that and click OK, my extruded part is going to update and match based off of what I did to the sketch. So yeah, that's a lot closer. So it looks like one of our edges might be having an issue. So that could be either because you have a open edge on your sketch, or you have to go back and edit something because something kind of might be pinching with the sketch. So here I tried extruding it again just to see if that would maybe fix it. And again I had the snapping option on. So yeah, that didn't fix it. So went ahead, went back into the sketch. I was editing the lower point just to see if maybe it was pinching the sketch too tight of an angle. And so yeah, that seemed to be the issue. So yeah, you can just go ahead and edit your sketch, play around with it if you're having issues like that. Okay, so now since we have the overall shape of the tab we're trying to get, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to cut out this piece right here at the top. So what I'm going to try to do is, I want the sketch to go along that plane, and so right here you can see it doesn't really cross it. So one of the things you can do here in QuickSurface is you're going to go into this tab and you're going to create a plane that best fits along that piece right there. So here's my plane that best fit within that area that's selected. So it's good enough for me. Okay, so now once we have that plane made, you could go ahead and select that as the plane you want to select to create the sketch. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go through and get something that gets the overall shape. So here, I think that did a pretty good job, but you can adjust as needed. So just like the other sketch that I had, we're gonna go along the path right here and just create the sketch using these reference points. And so basically I'm just gonna create straight lines at first and then connecting each endpoint. So here I'm just creating the best fit line based off the points it selects. So you could turn on the model view if it helps. So here I have my straight lines. So again, you can just select the meeting point and then it'll automatically create a curve that fits it. And then for this portion right here, you can just extend the line, and then if you needed, you could switch over to a pen tool if you wanted to. Once I had the sketch done, I just had these lines that came out from the end and closed it off right here. So you have to do this in order to be able to extrude the shape that you just made. So now here I am extruding that shape that I had just made. An issue I was having with this sketch at first was that when I extruded it right now, it was pretty much creating more like a surface instead of a filled extrusion. So you can see here that it's all hollow. And so then when I went back to try to combine the two shapes and cut out the part I didn't want, for whatever reason, because of that, I guess, it was just deleting the whole thing that I wanted to keep. So you'll see right here that I went through and tried to extend it. And so now when I tried selecting both pieces, trying to trim the whole thing, I tried deleting the part I didn't want, but you could see it ended up deleting the whole part. I tried doing it a couple times a different way, but it was the same thing. And so pretty much that just meant that the sketch that I made to extrude that part was what was creating the issue. Pretty much what I ended up doing was just going back and I had to edit the sketch again and shorten the part where I brought it out a bit. And so here I'm just going back and making it a little bit shorter just so that it doesn't go all the way out. And so now I can select everything and then I can trim it. So you just click on the parts that you don't want. And so there you go. You get your trimmed part. I should have just extended the sketch because I'm going to cut out that left side of the wall anyways. But you can always just go back and edit your sketch. Okay, so here's pretty much the overall part. So you can see it's pretty close to the original. The major outlines are what we needed. The shape of the backing right there, and that hole where a clip is going to slide into. So right here you could just add some fillets to match, and you could turn on the analysis tool to see how close you are to it. So one of the last things I'm going to do here with the part is that you can see it kind of extends within the inner part of that wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a surface along the curve on the inner lining of the scan data. So you can just go into this tab and select that whole area, and we're gonna make it auto create a surface. And so here that's pretty good, but if we turn on the analysis tool, we can see how good it is. And so what I did was I just turned up the sections that it uses, and so you can go as high as you want. If you go up too high, it's gonna take a while. So yeah, you can see the more we do, the better result you get. So I'm just gonna go as high as I can do. Try to get as much green as I can. So I think that's probably the best I'm gonna get. So with this surface, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and pretty much trim out the back piece. Okay, there we go. And that's pretty much it. So that's our part. So now we can just go ahead and throw that on the 3D printer, and we'll see how close we got. One of the things I forgot to do after printing this part was that the clip wasn't able to slide right in, so I forgot to make it where it can grab onto the lip. So this is me going back and basically just creating another sketch. It also hollows out the inside, and so with that, it's going to create that lip right there, and that's where the clip is going to be able to grab onto. So yeah, you can just go ahead and it's the same workflow, just creating an inner piece and cutting out from the rest. I could have cut all this out, but decided to just leave it in so you can see that kind of the general workflow and tools that I'm using as I'm going through and trying to get things to work. I'm still pretty new to QuickSurface, but it's pretty easy to pick up. It's a different way of thinking compared to CAD. You'll see that I kind of went back and fixed a couple things, and as I'm going through you can see the mistakes I made and how I went back and fixed them. Specifically here where I ended up thinning out the bottom part a little too much, so I went back and I tried extruding it to try to make it thicker, but I ended up just having to go back and fix the sketch that I used in order to cut out that piece. Okay, so here's the final part that I ended up printing. So you can see the inside's all hollowed out. I have that lip for the clip to grab onto. The backing of the curve fits the side skirt. And I added a bunch of fillets to better match the part. Okay, so here I have both files that I printed out. The one on the right is version 1 and the one on the left is version 2. So the left one is the final product for now. That's the one that has the hollowed out inside along with the lip. And so I have them both lined up just to show off next to the tab and the clip that we have. This clip right here was what was going to be grabbing onto the inner side. And so because of that, that's what made me go back and hollow out the inside. And so you can see this is the first version that I made. So you can see it's the one that wasn't hollowed out, and I guess it was more just to test the shape of the curve. And so then here's the hollow one. So you can see that one has a lip to it that the clip can go and grab onto. And so if I get the clip right here, now I'm able to slide it in, and so it goes right in. And so here they are next to each other. So basically the idea is that my friend's going to be able to take this printed clip, take it to his new side skirt, and basically either fiberglass it or plastic weld it or some kind of way to bond it. These parts were just printed in PLA, so they're not really the final part, but the actual part's probably going to be in something like ABS or ASA, something that can take heat and can take water pretty well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be making more QuickSurface videos to show my workflow with it, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.